Hi, everybody. Shivoso and Phina giving our new moon report for you all. It's February 9th, and the new moon is happening today. So it seemed like we've all been kind of going through it. I can't wait to hear what Phina has to say about the energies because I know for me it's been kind of intense. I mean, not bad, but it's been intense. So different for everybody. But yeah, and then the astrology a little bit later. So let's just dive into it. Let's do it. You ready, Fina?
Yeah, let's do it.
All right.
First
So
of
what's
all,
up?
I'm gonna first of all, I'm gonna welcome you from the comfort of my bed because talking about intensity, I have been moving through vertigo. For the Dutch watchers, it's dizziness. Like so, I had to take some time to, settle down and to just be in the comfort of my bed as we do this reading. And why do we still do the reading? Because, I feel the value of it. I love to do it, so it gives me positive energy. And also that we want to show our authentic selves, just how we are. So this is me being sick in the bed. You are welcome to see me like this. So I received an interesting question, or from multiple people actually, and I will answer it in short. And that is, how does your energy section work? And that is that through clear sentience, I pick up on energies. Sometimes I get images, and also I live through a lot of the topics together with other intuitives that are surrounding me, um, that I come across. And when I'm getting a ping, intuitive ping, saying like, hey, this is a topic you should um, remember for the reading, then I feel the resonance within myself. So then I bring it to the reading. So that is how. Um, then I'm going to move into the reading. First of all, accepting the shadow self. Um, our shadow is here for us to learn with. It's a part of our personality. It is our teacher, and it can bring up some raw emotions. And the moment that we go and judge those emotions, then they become stronger. It's like um, pushing a cork underwater, and it just wants to come up. So instead of pushing emotions away, or for example, when you recognize within yourself that you're getting angry or that you feel control, just let it be there. I'm not saying to express to other people, to let them handle it. No, I'm asking you or ourselves to sit with it and to feel it and not to judge it. This is actually a part of shadow integration as well, not judging it, feeling it through, and then integrating it. And by that, in that way, it becomes less powerful. So that's a good way. It's challenging. It can be really challenging, but eventually you will notice that it will give you um, some more peace instead of fighting it and judging it. Especially in the spiritual scene, we tend to judge the negative, um, but it's part of our personality, like I said, and let's work it through. Let's not judge it. Let's feel it and integrate it. Okay, on to the second one, is standing up for yourself. Um, like Shiv said, intensity, loads of challenging moments. All of us are moving through turbulence, also worldwide. And this is really, really important, and also with the shadow self, and also this topic of standing up for yourself, it is also worldwide. Like we talked about it last time, 2024 is really for all the shit to come up. Yeah, to put it out into the light, it's like having a pimple, first something has to be released before your skin can recover and be clear. So it's really important. And 2024 is a year of inner work and is for standing up for yourself and also standing within yourself, your personal empowerment. Then I have parent and child dynamics. A part of the shadow work, of course, is related to parent child dynamics. Um, this can be addressed at this time, um, or at least the energy is nudging us to take a look at these dynamics. What are the dynamics within your family system, and how can you do it differently from now on out? You are growing as an individual, and a lot of us, especially the intuitives, who are awakening to different ways of being, stepping out of our family systems, to transform these patterns. It's a lot, but it's also very important. So if you are moving through this, please know that your best is really good enough. Be gentle with yourself. Family can push all the buttons, especially our parents. They can trigger us like fuck, you know? I'm just gonna say it that way. Yeah, but also siblings, of course. I don't have them, but it's within the family system. So be gentle and also see where you can take a step back when you are feeling triggered. Take a step back and then first to move through the emotion yourself and then to get back and with a clear heart and a clear mind voice yourself. That's already a step towards healing. Then I have practicing detachment, going through a very recent breakup. I am for sure practicing the art of detachment. Not so much from him, but it's more a process within, just letting it be as it is. It is the way it is, and um, we can fight situations, but that will never serve us. So for us to go through a process and to be with the emotions that are there, feel them through, and then releasing them, and to think like, hey, I don't control anything. Of course, that's easier said than done. We are human and we have a mind and we want to control things. But yeah, this is a gentle reminder. I'm right there with you. So an invitation to practice detachment. Then a very interesting one that I received through an image, is healing between the feminine and the masculine. Wow, that's a big job, but there's helping energy coming in. So that is really nice. I haven't been on the topic of twin flames for a very long time. This is really relatable to that topic, but also to the masculine and feminine within ourselves. So, yeah, to see where we can balance that out. And then it's also related to the last one I have, which is reciprocation. It's very beautiful because just now, before the reading, me and Sheep, we did meditation. And then Shivoso was saying, I'm going to shoot out some, or just shoot out some light and let's connect. I will shoot some light back to you. And it reminded me of the topic that is very important to address now is reciprocation, and especially between the masculine and the feminine, or within any relationship dynamic. Reciprocation, also in friendships, like if you give out honesty, your truth, your love, are you being met in the same way? So, really, to take a close look at your connections and to see how other people are showing up for you. And if not, you cannot change another person. So, it's up to you to have your own boundaries and your self love, self worth, and to communicate this and to go for the connections that are really giving you back as much as you are also giving. And um it's not a thing like, oh, I'm giving you, so I have to have something back, because then it becomes, what's the word?
Transactional.
Yeah, it's not fully what I'm trying to, but it relates to it. Like there's a um expectation in it, and it's not. Oh, it's conditional. Yeah, it's totally conditional then. If you're saying like, hey, if I'm giving this to you, then I want that back. Like we cannot do that. But to keep an eye on, yeah, how are the connections flowing, and do they feel reciprocal? Do they feel nourishing? And if not, to let go of, yeah, places, people, things that do not nourish you. To look into your connections. So those are mine, and I feel a little out of breath as well. So I'm gonna chill and catch my breath, and I'm gonna let Shiv hit you with the astrology.
Wow. Thank you. Thank you also for pushing through today and showing up. It's beautiful to see you um, shining, even though you're not feeling shiny. So, and once
Yeah, and it's
again,
not
go ahead.
it's not pushing through. It's also that I really get energy, from talking to you and
Isn't it
doing this
true?
work. So,
Isn't it true? It's like it's that
yeah.
reciprocal thing you're talking about, not
It
just between you
is.
and me, but between our gift
Yeah,
and what our gift
yeah,
gives us. So giving our gift is like receiving this gift. So thank you.
definitely. That's what
Yeah,
would bring the energy. That's what brings the liveliness. Yeah.
yeah, for sure. And of course you nailed it. I love the way you kind of reframe or rephrase the astrology in such a beautiful way because Um, we have the new moon today, right? February 9th in Aquarius. And there's a lot going on there, but one of the things you said was judgment and not judging emotions. And I'll get to it, Pluto is conjuncting Mars and Venus and Mercury at 0 degrees of Aquarius this last week or two. During this whole period, it is like a lot of stuff coming up, a lot of emotional, a lot of deep feelings coming up. And there's, of course, a couple of ways to approach that. You can get lost in the movie, you can indulge it, you can judge it and try to push it away, which is what Pluto, is against. It brings up everything that you want to hide. And what popped into my head was discernment, like noticing what's happening and having enough detachment or step back and it's like, oh wow, I'm angry. Or everybody's irritated. I'm irritated. Why am I irritated? Is this really something I need to be doing? Or what's going on? It's like, oh, well, I get irritated over this stuff. And you start to play with the noticing, right? Discernment instead of judgment of like, I'm not an angry person. You say in an angry voice, right? So yeah, the new moon in Aquarius, right? So Aquarius is um, about expansion and freedom and, unique thinking and being a unicorn. And it's the new moon, so it's new beginnings. So we have a lot of kind of this thinking outside the box kind of feeling going on, which is um, very Aquarian. And that's exciting. That's going to be good. It's also, ironically or beautifully, the Chinese New Year. So the year of the dragon starts, I believe, tomorrow. Really with the new moon. This is the the end of it or the beginning of it's a whole month. So it started with the new moon in January, and now the official start of the Chinese New Year. Also, really amazingly, Pluto at 0 degrees of Aquarius is at the exact same degree, 0 degrees of Aquarius, that the Saturn Jupiter conjunction in 2020, the grand conjunction happened December 21st, my birthday. There was this conjunction, and it kind of like offset the Pluto Saturn conjunction, which had started the whole COVID plague, disruption of the entire world. And it was almost like, okay, there's also going to be light and hope. It's like structure is changing, but we're expanding in a good direction. Jupiter and Saturn together are a really interesting pair because it's responsibility and expansion. And right now, Jupiter and Saturn are sextile each other. They've moved, right? And so they're working in kind of harmony with each other. And so Pluto is just activating that spot because obviously Pluto is death and rebirth, it's transformation. So here we go, right? The whole rest of the 2020s is going to be sort of the outflow from all of this. And so we've been noticing it because we had that, as I mentioned before, the Mars, first Mercury conjuncted Pluto at 0 degrees, then Mars conjuncted Pluto at 0 degrees, and then Venus on, I believe, the 13th or the 21st will be conjuncting Pluto. And Pluto's just gonna, it just, it's the underworld, it's the underground, it's powerful and valuable stuff that's been repressed. And sometimes it's our anger, Mars, right? But it also could be our assertiveness, our ability to stand up for ourselves. Thank you, Phina. Um, so there's this kind of like upwelling, and you'll probably be already noticing it's been a lot of like my dreams have been dark and kind of like, oh, this is not my good stuff. This is stuff from the past. This is stuff that I'm not proud of. This is stuff I don't like to think about. Pluto's just forcing it up. And I get to look at it and go, is this real? Okay, well, have I learned the lesson from this? Is it in my consciousness now? Am I aware of it? Or is it just repressed and hidden and running my life from underneath? So Pluto is offering us this gift of our own empowerment through the exposure of things like secrets, Mercury, Pluto, or even aggression, which can be assertion in a higher form. The release of tension that aggression does can, in the long run, be beneficial. It's just that it does damage. We don't like it. We try to repress it. We say, stop it. Never let your anger out. And yeah, it's, one of those things where without it, we don't get shit done. There's things that have to change. There's certain moments when an angry energy is appropriate, especially around assertiveness and standing up for yourself and holding boundaries. Um, so that's all happening. And then here comes Venus, later in the month, Venus will hit Pluto, and that's passion. It's kind of like, okay, how do we manage our passions and our obsessions, our desire for love and connection can also be kind of sick and jealous and possessive. So that might come up a little bit later. but it's also just here to teach us, right? There's a lot of other things going on, but that's just kind of like where we're at. Childhood conditioning is often in the Plutonic realms. It's called implicit memory. It's the stuff that you don't remember consciously, but is there running your show from deep inside your neurobiology. And so that's all in the Plutonic realm. And that could be coming up, right? Which is a good thing if you can use discernment and not get lost in it. Also, what's going on is the moon, because of the way everything's configured, so all the planets are in a really sort of tight grouping between Aquarius and Taurus. They're just one after the other, all kind of clustered up. As the moon goes through them, and we do this conjunction with the sun, it's kind of halfway through this thing where it hits a new planet and a new aspect every few hours or days, right? So our moods are constantly changing. Our perspectives are constantly changing. We're kind of going through a lot of turbulence and emotionally, and that can be disturbing. It can be stressful if you're attached, if you take it seriously. So, all of it comes down to my best advice was like hold on to your sense of irony and your sense of humor because you'll notice that, man, things completely flip opposite and they're both true. And you're like, how ironic is that? Is that one truth can change to another truth within yourself and still be both true? How is that? Opposites, right? So we're playing with a lot of these energies over the next couple of weeks, right? Uh, at the same time in the new moon, we have Uranus is square to the new moon, and Uranus is just zapping all this energy into it of like unexpectedness, right? So an electric new moon, right? Um, it's exciting. It's also a little terrifying because it's just powerful and it's happening. And so we're just going to have to ride it out as best we can. We've been through this for a little while, so it's not anything really new. It will be fading by the time we get to the full moon. So try to make the most of it through the discernment and the learning and the sense of forgiveness and patience with others, with your own thoughts and your own ideas and your own feelings. It's like just be patient with it. It'll change, right? Because it's more than the weather, it's changing all the time. What else we got? We got Neptune is sextile to the new moon, and then it's going to be sextile to Venus. And Neptune is our higher ideals, but it's also foggy confusion. So you've got Mars trying to get something done, but it doesn't know which direction to go. It's in the fog, right? Then we have Venus and relationships. So it could be a little foggy there around the middle of the month, around the 15th or so. It's a few days. One of the other things about Neptune, especially Mars and Venus, is it can urge us to want to escape and escape in any way. So Mars would be like run away or push something away, uh, take drugs, get drunk, run away from home. Venus is more romantic and it wants to fall into a romantic bubble. It wants to just go someplace exotic and beautiful where it's all peaceful and gorgeous. But as I said in my written report, that would be a mistake because it's an illusion. And what you want to do is use this Neptunian energy to reach for what is it that I really, truly, what's my soul actually desire? What would I aim for if I had a highest aspiration around these Mars and Venus subjects, right? Money, relationship, what you want to do with your life, what you're doing with your time, all of that. So, um, at the same time, we've had Chiron conjunct the South Node for months, and it goes on until like April. It's almost exact. It'll be exact on the 19th. And South Node is our past lives. It's things that have happened in the recent past and the far past. And Chiron is the healer. Chiron is the holder of our wounds and also the path to healing wounds. So this is kind of an opportunity for our wounds to come up, our old stuff to come up, and to be healed or to heal others, because Chiron is also a mentor energy. And so those of us in the healing realms, doctors and counselors and all that, are busy right now, and we're doing good work. We're necessary. We need this. Chiron's on our side. We carry that archetypal energy. Um, what else we got going on? We get to the waxing square on the 16th, heading towards the full moon. We got another week from the 16th. Venus is conjunct Pluto on that day. What I have here in my notes, unbridled passion. Mars is not far off, so it could be aggressive. So be totally aware of your consent. It's like you just get excited. And so beware of your boundaries. Pluto's going to help with that. But it's Venus can get a little overexcited there. Mercury is square Uranus around that same time. So we get either genius, which is Mercury, the mind, and Uranus, the inspired one, or it could be unexpected changes to our plans and thinking. So it's kind of like, okay, all of the storm and vibration and that we've been going through, as we get to the like middle of the month, you can start to kind of settle in and go, oh, this is where we're going. This is what I'm thinking. This is it's all different now. I see it from a different perspective, Uranus. Um, Mars is conjunct Venus exactly on the 21st. And that comes right back to what you were saying about healing between the masculine and feminine. They're running together. They've been running together for a while. They're close, and they've got Pluto right there. So all of our stuff's coming up around those energies. I say yin and yang, really, because it's more global than that, but it's going to show up in our relationship between the masculine and feminine. And it is an opportunity to heal. It is an opportunity to be in balance and to dance together. Venus and Mars are beautiful together as long as they're in harmony. And that is where free will comes in. That's where you got to make a choice about how you're going to act this out. So that goes on for a little while. It's going to land in a T square with Jupiter. Jupiter's going to be square both to the moon at the waxing moon, and it's going to be square to the moon for a number of hours. And then the moon consequently is opposite to the Mars Venus. And so that's the 21st, 22nd, we're going to have this kind of like um, it's going to be a little more intense those days. Mars and Venus. It's expansive, it's optimistic, it's also kind of overdoing it. So watch overdoing that dance. Don't dance too hard. Be ready to ease back for a second because once again, Jupiter can overdo it, but it's also a really benefic sign. And squares can be challenging, T squares can be challenging, but I think it'll be all right. 'Cause it's only a few hours or a day or so. Then we get to the full moon. Whoo! Finally, full moon in Virgo. It's on that Virgo Pisces axis, and it's going to be it's going to be less intense than what we've been going through. It's going to be a little breathing space, even though it's a full moon. So it's going to have its uppity, but it's Virgo, and so it's going to be more practical, and it's also more divinely oriented because of Pisces. So it's heaven and earth. And it might be a moment to just kind of give thanks that we just made it through some pretty intense stuff. We're on our way. We got their momentum going. 2024 is well on its way. We're launched, and we've already sort of started to pick the directions. And now we got to do the body English to keep it on track. There's plenty of stuff coming up, but that full moon is going to be a little nicer to us than the last couple of new moons and full moons. I think they've all been nice, to tell you the truth. It's been a huge gift. It's been really intense, but really good things getting done. I know that's not true for everybody, and it always comes back around. If you want to know what's going on with your stuff, you need to call up Phina or me and find out your birth charts and get your personal energy readings, because this land's different for everybody. Everybody's circumstances are different. But that's the general weather. That's kind of where we're at these days. And I hope you are making the most of this new moon expansion, the Aquarian energy and the Plutonic energy, and not getting caught in the movie, not getting caught in the dark side, and thinking, oh, we're screwed, or it's all fucked, because it will change. And it's an opportunity as well as a challenge. That's all I've got. Yeah, I think it's been pretty exciting for people. I don't know. I'm doing a lot of counseling lately. A lot of people. So my Chiron's showing up, and that's been quite a gift for me to be able to help people out and sort of see them through some things. But it's all relative. My life's pretty good, but at the same time, I got my challenges. No need to go into it. Phina, do you want to say anything at the end?
Well, I've already dimmed my light. Like
To the
literally, I
shadows.
dimmed the light.
She's in the
I
Pluto
went into
realms.
I went into the shadow work. No, I feel you gave it a beautiful roundup, and thank you for sharing your gift. I've been listening intently to you, and again, I love how it all just comes together. So
Yeah,
thank you, my friend,
yeah. Thank you so much,
for
and thank
again creating this reading with me.
for sure. Thank you, everybody, for listening through all of this. Give us feedback, please. Put a comment on there, or let us know. Look for us on Facebook or um, Instagram, and we'll see you guys in about 2 weeks.